Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's Procreate tutorial, we're doing a fun step-by-step illustration of a Dalmatian dog, complete with those iconic black spots and loads of texture. This idea actually came from one of you, Tasneem Ayub. Thank you so much for the suggestion. I love the idea of creating a dog illustration in Procreate, and I think you are all going to love how it comes together. We're starting with some simple shapes and basic colors, and then I'll show you a few of my favorite texture techniques and brush tricks to really bring this pup to life. Whether you're just getting started with Procreate or you're looking for a quick and fun project, this one's perfect. Let's jump in. To help you get started, I'm offering a free download of the sketch and color palette. Check the link in the description. You'll also find details about the brushes I used. However, please feel free to use what you have. Here are the details for the canvas dimensions and color profile. Let's jump in and get started. So I'm just going to start off with selecting this and choosing multiply and taking it down to about 40 or 50%. Alright, so I'm just going to create two new layers on top, and I'll select both of these, group, select this, rename. I'm going to call this dog, close this group, grab the sketch, pop it on top, select the bottom layer, and we're going to be using the rugged marker at size 10%. The color that we'll use is this lightest color, third from the right, and we're just going to draw an outline of the dog and then fill it in with color. Okay, now that I have the outline of the dog, I'm just going to grab the color and drag it on top to fill in the shape. I'm just going to quickly turn off the sketch and just zoom in on this here for you. I just wanted to show you the outline of that pen, just giving us this nice jagged type of edge. It just adds to the retro analog feel. Just some easy tricks to get results fast. I'll select this layer on top here. I'm going to use the analog shader at around 19%. The color that I'll use is this darkest, second from the right. I'm going to select this layer and select clipping mask. Now, for those of you who don't know how a clipping mask works, I'll just quickly explain that to you. So whatever we place on this layer, layer number 3, will be contained or clipped to the shape, this dog shape on layer number 2. Just make sure you've got layer 3 selected. And we're just going to add some shading to the legs and around the ear. I'm just going to turn the sketch layer back on to use that as a guide. So I'm just going to add some shading to the leg like so. I'll add some to this leg as well. And I'll add a little bit around the ears as well. So I'm just going to now grab the eraser, and select marker for the eraser is fine here. And let's zoom in and just erase back. I might just, before I do that, just take it down in size a little bit so I have a bit more control over where I erase. And I'm just going to erase back where the ear is, like so. I'm going to erase back here. And I'll erase back here as well. Now I'm just going to select this layer here. I'll switch this to multiply, And I'll just take the opacity down to about 72% is fine here. Let's just turn off the sketch layer so you can see what that's looking like. Let's create a new layer on top. I'm going to use the wet and dry brush at around 10%, and the color will continue using this darkest color here. And now for the fun part. We're actually going to add some spots to the dog. So these spots can be placed randomly across the dog. And before I continue, I just want to make sure that the opacity slider is up 100% here. And let's add some spots to the dog. Now let's create a new layer here. For this job, I'm going to use the dry brush at 2%. We'll keep the color. I'm just going to turn the sketch on and just add the eyes and the nose. Okay, now let's just close this script here. For the background color, we'll add that in now. I'm just going to select this color right in the middle there. We'll use that as our main background color. I'll create a new layer on top here. I'm going to select the disc here, and I need a pure white, and I'll show you a little trick. In order to select a pure white, I'm going to double tap with the pencil somewhere around here, and that gives us a pure white. The brush that I'll use for this job is the textured filler at around 64%, and I'm just going to create this really quick and gorgeous border around the artwork. I'm going to place my pencil here and then drag it down like that, and I won't release. I'm keeping the pencil down, and this is done on purpose. It's just to create a straight line, and if you don't release, you can choose the end point. So just make sure that's kind of semi-straight, and then release the pencil, and let's do the same for all sides. And I might just fill it in a little bit here. I might just take it down in size and just fill it in ever so slightly here. Next, I'm going to use the Mighty pencil at 100%. The color I will choose is this first from the left. Let's go back to the dog group, select the top layer, create a new layer on top. I'm just going to turn on the sketch, and I'm just going to create the collar here, like so. Now let's create a new layer on top. I'm going to use the textured pencil at around size 25 or thereabouts. The color will be this last color here. And now I'm just going to draw the lead. Alright, let's just close this, create 2 new layers, select both group. You can rename this. I'll call this background spots. Select the bottom layer here. I'm going to use the gritty crayon for this job. Add around size 21%. The color that I will use is the second from the left. And we're just going to add some background spots here and there with this gorgeous textured brush. And now I'll select the top layer here. I'm going to use the same brush. I'll just change the color to this third from the left. And we're going to add some more of these spots in the background. I'm just going to add a little bit more shadow to the ear here, just so the ear stands out a little bit more. So let's go back to the dog group. I'll select this layer here. We were using the analog shader for this job, and the color was this darkest color here, and the size was around 19, and that's still selected. So I'm just going to add a little bit more shading to the ear area here. Then grab the eraser tool and let's erase this ear back so it's a little bit more pronounced. And I might just go back to the brush and just add a tiny little bit of texture just here and there like that. Very subtle. And might just add a little bit more texture up here. Grab the eraser tool again and just erase it back. For the next job, let's select this layer here, create a new layer on top. I'm actually going to place this on top here, and we've lost the clipping mask on this layer, so just select that and select that again, and select this layer here. I'm going to select the soft pencil for this job, and around 60% in size is fine. And we'll keep this darkest color here. I might just take the brush size down maybe to about 45%, and we're just going to add some shadows to the legs for the Dalmatian. And I'll go to the layer here, select multiply and take it down in opacity to maybe about 33%. I think is probably fine here, just so those shadows aren't too stark. For the next job, I'm going to close this group, create one layer here. I'm going to select the subtle noise brush at 100%. The color that I'll be using is this first from the left, and I'm just going to add this really cool texture. It's quite subtle and you get results very, very quickly. I'm going to cover the entire image with this like so, and that's how quickly you get the result. So let's just zoom up so we can see that texture. I just want to now select that layer and select luminosity, and it just changes the color of the dots to this cool darker color. And I'll take down the opacity to around 50%. So just zoom in so you can see that it's added this really cool texture very quickly to the entire canvas. Like so. And that's it, your Dalmatian illustration is done. We kept it quite simple, but by using texture techniques, layering, and a few quick tricks, we turned these basic shapes into a playful, finished piece of art. As per usual, let's just have a look at the finer details of the artwork before we finish up. I'm going to zoom in on areas here and there, and as you may have come to know my artwork, you'll realize that I always use texture. So texture is my secret weapon, and this illustration has used quite a lot of texture. There's all that texture in that beautiful border that we created in a matter of a minute or so. We've got texture in these spots here. We've got texture on the collar, throughout these spots on the Dalmatian. We've got this beautiful retro-like texture on the legs and around the ear area. Beautiful textured shadows, and we had that gorgeous texture throughout the background as well. If you enjoyed this step-by-step Procreate tutorial, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you want more easy and fun illustration tutorials just like this.